We're back for another daily market review on NASDAQ. Today is Monday, November 14th, 2022. And today we had a bit of a consolidation day. Before the week started, I outlined the two daily levels right here, this one and this one, as a possible area for price to come back for some support. And turned out that this was the level, this daily high was as far as it essentially reached as of Monday. Now it's still early in the week. Price could come down again tomorrow, take the low of Monday and hit these levels, and there's an imbalance here. That's an area of interest for me. So, this is still possible. But as for the trades today, we took, minor, small wins, small losses. A little paper cut, nothing really too much to write home about. Market didn't really move much. This was sort of the day I expected on Friday, where we'd kind of stay range bound for a majority of the day, whereas Friday we started that way and then we pushed up and closed near the high. So looking at the price action today, there was one trade I tried to get in early in the session, New York session, but I did not get the entry. So at New York session, up to this point, we've been range bound. This was the Asia range, and then London made this swing low right here. And then at the open, the market took the low of London and hit this daily level. Price rallied, and then this was my first attempt to enter. If I go to the 1 minute chart, this gap was created on the 1 minute chart. And this could have been an entry for me, but I just thought it was too high in the range. And we'd just taken this high. So I thought, I'm just going to put my order. I think I had it right here, or maybe just below at this inside bar, just above, kind of in between these two levels. And once price consolidated and then went higher and formed this low especially, I pulled the order because I did not want to see a structure break such as this. Did not want to see structure break going down into the level. At that point, if I was going to buy this level, it would just have to be a new trade. And turns out price didn't really go much further. It kind of came back later to that level, but I wasn't going to buy it here, even though this was really the ideal place to be a buyer today. And the first trade I took that turned out to be a break-even trade was actually after we had this impulse. So we had a second leg impulse. First leg impulse was here, consolidated, came down, retested, showed a new impulse with an imbalance to the upside. So that just gave me more confirmation that I wanted to be buying this market. And so this is where it was. So not only that, I think it was on the 15-minute too, was it? Let me see. Yeah, exactly. So we can see on the 15-minute we also had a gap here. So multi-time frame imbalance is always a great confluence for me. After we've taken the low, we're in a bullish trend. It was a very no-brainer trade for me to take, which was this here. So we on the 5-minute, price came down, wicked this low, swept it into the higher time frame imbalance, pushed up higher to the upside. Nice closes, leaving behind these gaps right here to be filled. This one and then one above, I mean. This should have been my entry. This would have been the place to enter, and put the stop here or in between. My stop was here, kind of ultra conservative. And then this could have been a 2-to-1. However, I did not enter there. I was a little bit late to pull the trigger on this, and price had already hit this level, reacted to it, created this candle. Then this candle here came down below this low and looked like it was going to push up. So to me, that was a good signal to get in. It was on this candle, I would say around here. And then I put my stop again below the low. So to me, very conservative stop placement. This was a lower risk trade to begin with. If I'm not getting in near the reversal point, and we're close to this target here, it's not worth putting in a full risk position for me. So this was the previous day's high, first target, and I actually my mistake was just being a little too greedy, wanting a bigger payoff, basically. This I should have just treated as a scalp. This would have been, I think, about 200 ticks, about 50 points or so. So that would have been just a fine scalp, but I was just hoping that this would break out, which is never a good approach to have. So I ended up moving my stop to break even. Once it was kind of hovering here, I figured, I'll just kind of be happy with whatever happens. And so I got out at break even here, and then price tagged this level and showed some impulse to the upside. And then on the 2-minute, this was the trade I got stopped out on. Again, it was a pretty low risk trade. Created this imbalance, and I thought, okay, maybe this is where maybe it was just going to retest this, and now it's going to take off with the continuation. Ended up getting stopped out. My stop was around here. But the way that we trade is we're able to switch our bias based on the price action. If we get a setup the opposing way, we can take advantage of that, which is exactly what happened here. I'm going to get rid of this. So if we think about it like from a short perspective, we've rated previous day's high, which I will switch to that. So this is yesterday's high, Friday's high. Now I didn't get a short trade here because this move down here did not create an imbalance for me, and I need an imbalance most of the time. So this could have been a trade I'm sure some people took this as a short, but for me, I needed to see a little bit more to even be thinking about a short. And when this move happened right here, which obviously took me out of my long, created this big energetic move to the downside, I then turned my attention to that imbalance right there. And we also have this imbalance right here as a target that hasn't been filled completely. So once it looks like the market is changing into sort of a sell stage, then I'm looking for this swing to complete, or almost to complete in this situation. So for me, the short trade, actually, I wasn't sure, I wanted to get in, pretty confident in the move, and I think I went to the 3-minute. Yeah, exactly. So the trade was really based on the 3-minute. I love these candle closes, no wick at the downside, and to me, I just like seeing that. It's just good confluence, and I think I had this gap here just sort of in my head, and I entered pretty close to the low, to this level right here. My stop of my initial risk was above here, but what I was looking at is I saw this high form right here, and if I was going to get a close above this high, I was going to cut the trade. So I was not planning on holding for this trade to potentially come to the stop loss, but didn't matter. Took a short here, targeted here, got out a little bit before this level here, this imbalance. Let me just mark it more accurately. So originally my target was here. I think it was about 1.5 R, more or less. Maybe I remember it being 1.5. I don't know, something like that. And I got out just a little bit before that. So just I wanted to, at this stage of the day, late in the day, I wanted to make up for this loss there, come up with a little bit of profit, and just accept that Mondays, not every day is going to be a trend day. Just have to play with the conditions that you get and not trying to force it. I think this trade here was me trying to force it and hope that we get this big move. But it's still only Monday, and we just got to take it day by day. And I think I'm pretty happy overall with my patience here. I'm happy I followed my plan. I didn't keep the order. I pulled it, and that was what I was supposed to do because, again, up until this point, what did we really have here? This was, for me, I just didn't feel comfortable taking a buy here because it's Monday. Up till now, we're seeing no reason, in my opinion, to be super bullish because all we've done after taking this liquidity here is push up, and we're not even able to close above this. And up till now, this whole day has just been chop back and forth range. So I'm not seeing a lot of strength or momentum enter into the market. So I didn't feel a need to risk a trade here until I saw a little bit more evidence, which we got here. And really just the only mistake was being a little late to this entry. Yeah, so being a little late to this entry, actually this could have been an entry too. I think it was during the lunch hour. Yeah, this was during the lunch hour. So I just kind of try to avoid during the lunch hour. I thought maybe we could get a deeper retrace closer to this New York open price. But that could have been a buy, stop below here. And I think the conservative, like logical trade, not trying to force too much, but wait for confirmation would have been something like this. Almost a 2R. Just put the stop below this candle's body and just target the high and just take a partial most of the position off, because up till now the price action on this day was not a screaming buy, and we know Mondays can consolidate. Okay, let's clear the chart and take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow. So jumping back to the daily chart, as I said in the beginning, I'm gonna just get rid of this level, and I'm still focusing on this daily high and this daily low, and understanding that now there is an imbalance. Let me get rid of replay mode. Okay, so here we are in today. So we currently have this imbalance here between this high and this low. We also have this volume imbalance between the two bodies. And at the extreme low end, we have this imbalance here. I'm still not expecting a deep retrace for the reasons I said in the recap on Sunday, or in the forecast on Sunday. I think it's far more likely that we're just going to keep pushing higher. Could consolidate one more day, but I do think tomorrow we get some movement. I think there's some high impact news, and I do think this is the next target to reach for, this weekly level at 12,140, or just targeting the big figure of 12,000, I think would be a good play. I do think we also have some divergence, which is interesting on the 1 hour chart. This low, this is the same time at 6 a.m., which is 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. New York. This low was taken out by the S&P, and this low on NASDAQ was not taken out on NASDAQ. So we have some divergence, some relative strength into NASDAQ, and this definitely shapes my bias heading into tomorrow's session. If we don't just push up from here, what I would love to see on NASDAQ, just going back to it, is I would love to see, we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. Price came down. Is this a higher low? Very well could be. And what I'd love to see is price come in, react off of this, and I'd love to see it kind of pull back, sell off, look like it's going to make a lower low, and then I'd love to see a new imbalance created to the upside. And I'd love to get involved here on a pullback, but we always need the time of day to line up with this. So I will wait until trading hours for a trade setup like this, especially since it's based on the hourly chart. I thought maybe, there's just also no real order block here, maybe this, but look how tiny these candles are. There's always the possibility that even with this divergence, price still comes down and takes out this low. And takes out this low of yesterday. So we'll just stay nimble, but in my view, there's no reason to switch bearish beyond just intraday scalp. I will be first and foremost prioritizing buys, unless of course we get more indication that there's momentum shifting to the upside. We do have like kind of a 3 drive pattern here. And so, we'll just never say never, but at this point, I'm looking for buys for Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's it for tonight, and we will be back tomorrow with another recap.